the texts, when we lost the words in our biblical texts that tell us that feeling is the prayer, we began to believe that the words are the prayer. That if we say the right words, the right time of day, magically a prayer will happen. And when our prayer is not answered, we become frustrated and we think prayer doesn't work. The words are not the prayers. The feeling is the prayer. The feeling is the prayer.
You've been taught to fold your hands, bow your head, and ask God like a child asking their parent for candy. But what if Matthew 7:7 isn't about asking at all? What if Jesus wasn't teaching you to beg, but to command reality itself at the quantum level? If you think ask, seek, knock is some innocent Sunday school rhyme, you're about to have your entire prayer life rewritten. Before we go any further, hit that like button right now, because what you're about to hear is going to challenge everything your pastor never told you. And comment below, tell me what you've been asking for that hasn't shown up yet, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. Most people read Matthew 7:7 and hear this. Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened. Sounds sweet, sounds simple, sounds like prayer for beginners. But here's the truth nobody's telling you. The Aramaic root of the word ask doesn't mean to beg. It means to claim from within. It means to call forth what already exists. Jesus wasn't teaching his followers to hope. He was teaching them to access a field of infinite possibilities and collapse it into form. And that's not theology. That's quantum physics. Let me introduce you to someone who cracked this code wide open. Gregg Braden, a scientist and researcher who spent decades bridging ancient wisdom with modern science, talks about something called the divine matrix. It's a field, an energetic web that connects everything in existence. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, said all matter exists because of an intelligent conscious mind, a matrix that holds everything together. Braden took that science and overlaid it with the teachings of Isaiah, Jesus, and the mystics. What he discovered will blow your mind. Prayer isn't about asking God to give you something. Prayer is about feeling as though it's already done. Here's where it gets deep. Gregg Braden teaches that the divine matrix doesn't hear your words. It doesn't respond to your voice. It responds to the electromagnetic frequency of your heart. When you feel something, your heart generates a measurable field, electrical and magnetic, that literally radiates into the space around you. And that field speaks to the quantum field of all possibilities. When Jesus said ask, he didn't mean speak a sentence into the air. He meant align your inner frequency with the reality you want to experience. The feeling is the prayer. That's why most prayers don't work. You say you want money, but you feel broke. You say you want breakthrough, but you feel stuck. You say you want abundance, but your emotional state is broadcasting lack. The matrix doesn't respond to your wish list. It responds to your vibrational match. Ask isn't passive. Ask is an energetic declaration. It's you standing in the authority of your divine nature and claiming what already exists in the field of infinite outcomes. Now let's talk about seek. Most people think seeking means searching in the physical world, hustling, grinding, looking everywhere for answers. But in the quantum framework, seek means tune in. It means shift your awareness. Every possible version of your life already exists right now. There's a timeline where you're wealthy. There's a timeline where you're healed. There's a timeline where the door is already open. Seeking is the act of focusing your attention, your belief, and your emotional resonance onto that timeline. You're not looking for something outside of you. You're collapsing a wave of probability into the particle of your lived experience. Gregg Braden talks about this in what he calls the Isaiah effect. Isaiah, the prophet, left behind a blueprint for non-religious, non-denominational prayer that transcends time and space. It's not about begging a distant deity. It's about entering into the feeling of the answered prayer before it manifests. In quantum terms, the moment you ask, all possible outcomes exist. Your job isn't to create the outcome. Your job is to choose it by aligning your inner state with it. You seek the feeling, the frequency, the vibrational signature of your desire already fulfilled. If you're loving this and you want to go deeper, I've created something specifically for you. It's called the Quantum Wealth Scripture Journal. 30 days of Bible verses fused with quantum wealth activations, space for reflection, and practical daily money moves that align your faith with the field. This isn't just a devotional, it's a protocol. Link is in the description and pinned in the first comment. Grab it, work through it, and watch what happens when Scripture meets quantum intention. Now let's get to the most misunderstood part. Knock. You've been told knocking is polite persistence. Knock and wait. Knock and hope somebody hears you. But that's not what knock means in the original context. Knock implies you already know something is on the other side. You're not wondering if anyone's home. You're standing at the threshold of a reality that exists, and you are demanding access. Gregg Braden describes this as the union of thought, emotion, and feeling. When all three align, you generate a coherent signal. That signal doesn't ask permission, commands the field. Think about it. When you knock on a door, you expect it to open. You don't knock and then say maybe, hopefully, if it's God's will. You knock because you know the door leads somewhere. In the quantum model, knocking is the full alignment of belief, feeling, and expectation. It's the act of embodying the outcome so completely that the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to you. This is not manifesting from desperation. This is manifesting from certainty. Here's the science. In quantum physics, particles exist in a state called superposition. That means they exist as waves of probability until an observer collapses them into a specific reality. Your consciousness is the observer. Your feelings are the collapsing mechanism. When you knock with belief, when you feel the reality as already real, you collapse the probability wave into the physical door opening. That's not magic. That's mechanics. That's the technology Jesus was teaching 2,000 years ago that science is only now catching up to. Let me give you a real-world example. Two people pray for money. One says, "God, please give me money. I'm so broke. I don't know what to do." The other one closes their eyes and feels the relief, the freedom, the gratitude of abundance already present. They feel their bills paid. They feel the ease in their chest. They thank God not for what's coming, but for what already is. Who do you think activates the quantum field? The one who feels lack or the one who feels fulfillment? The matrix doesn't judge your words. It mirrors your frequency. And if you've been praying the same prayer for years with no result, it's not because God isn't listening. It's because your emotional broadcast and your verbal request are out of phase. Gregg Braden explains this perfectly. When thought, feeling, and emotion are misaligned, they scatter. They work against each other. But when they unify, when they lock into coherence, the field responds immediately. Not because you earned it, because you matched it. Now I want to pause and say something from my heart. If this message is hitting you deep, if you feel like you've found something you've been searching for, there's a way you can support this channel and go even deeper. We have a membership community, a sacred space where you get early access to videos like this, and you become part of a movement that's waking up to the quantum truth of Scripture. It's not required. It's just an invitation. If it resonates, the link is below. Either way, I'm grateful you're here. Here's what's wild. The Bible has been telling you this the entire time. Hebrews 11:1 says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Substance. Evidence. That's not religious poetry. That's quantum language. Faith is the material of creation. It's the energetic substance that gives form to the invisible. When you have faith, you're not hoping something will happen someday. You're standing in the certainty that it already exists, and you're collapsing it into your now. Jesus said in Mark 11:24, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Not will receive. Have received. Present perfect tense. It's already done. You're not praying into the future. You're praying from the future. You're feeling the end result now, and that feeling pulls the future into your present. That's the quantum prosperity formula. That's the abundance Bible code. That's the lost science of prayer that the church sanitized, repackaged, and sold you as positive thinking. But this goes deeper than money. Yes, Matthew 7:7 opens money doors, but it opens every door. Healing doors, relationship doors, breakthrough doors, destiny doors. Because the same field that governs financial flow governs every flow. It's all energy. It's all frequency. And you have been given dominion not to beg for crumbs, but to speak to mountains and watch them move. You're not a beggar in the kingdom. You're a co-creator in the matrix. The real scandal of the gospel is that you were never meant to be powerless. Religion taught you to be humble, quiet, and waiting, but Jesus taught authority. He taught you to speak to the fig tree and watch it wither. He taught you to command the storm. He taught you that the kingdom of heaven is within you, not up in the sky somewhere, but inside, in the field of your own consciousness. That's where the divine matrix lives. That's where all possibilities are stored. And that's where you go when you ask, seek, and knock the quantum way. So let's bring this full circle. Ask isn't begging. It's claiming. Seek isn't searching. It's tuning. Knock isn't hoping. It's commanding. Together, they form a 3-step quantum protocol for collapsing infinite possibilities into tangible results. And it only works when your thought, your feeling, and your emotion lock into alignment. When they're out of phase, you get chaos. When they're in phase, you get miracles. That's not luck. That's law. That's how the universe operates. And Jesus knew it. If you're still watching, drop a comment right now. Tell me what reality you're choosing. Tell me what door you're knocking on. Because when you declare it, you activate it. Your words have power, especially when they're aligned with feeling. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This channel exists to decode the quantum Bible, to reveal the wealth scripts hidden in plain sight, and to show you how faith and physics are the same language. Hit that subscribe button and join the movement. Here's your takeaway. Stop praying like a beggar. Start praying like a quantum creator. Stop asking God to give you something and start thanking Him that it already exists. Feel it now. Embody it now. Live from the end. When you do that, the divine matrix has no choice but to reflect that frequency back to you as form, as money, as opportunity, as breakthrough. Matthew 7:7 isn't preschool prayer. It's the master key to reality itself. And now you know how to use it. Go collapse some miracles.